I am the 7-year-old who took the world by surprise when I wrote my first book without my parents' knowledge in 2014. You may need to watch my past talks in which I explained how just after I had finished writing, I excitedly rushed into my mother's bedroom to announce that I had written a full-length book about cats. Unfortunately for me, my mother thought that it was a school project and told me that my computer teacher would be very proud of me. Well, I did not give up. I convinced her to read my book. After that, I made sure that she and my father published it. 6 years have gone by, and today I have published 5 books and I am still writing. But actually, what good is you knowing my life story if you do not know why I wrote a book? My why of becoming an author has a lot to do with the fact that as a little African child in Johannesburg, I had set out to explore a dream. Of course, everybody can write a book, but the fact is that not all writers have their books known or even their names remembered. One of the reasons is because many authors do not share their why with their prospective book buyers. Although he did not use a book in his example, famous TEDx speaker Simon Sinek, in his talk titled How Great Leaders Inspire Action, explains why it is possible that not all items, in my case books, are not selling well. He cautions that most people focus on selling what they have produced and not why they have produced it. As such, their buyers miss why they should buy the product because they don't know why the product was created in the first place. An understanding of Simon Sinek's talk explains why great people make great decisions. It emphasizes that when you know your why, you are able to explore. When you explore, you are able to change yourself, your community, your country, your continent, and eventually the rest of the world. Permit me to tell you a typical story of exploration by an African child who is inspiring and motivating the world. His name is Kelvin Doe. Born in October 1996, Kelvin grew up in Sierra Leone in West Africa. By the age of 11, he played with broken electronics that he picked up from the garbage. By the age of 15, Kelvin had invented his own radio station. He then became the youngest visiting engineering lecturer at the University of Massachusetts of Technology in America at just the age of 16. Kelvin and his mother also visited the White House on invitation. Kelvin delivered his first TEDx teen talk at 16 and has spoken on many stages around the globe. He is the most respected young inventor in Africa who has met with presidents. The single thing that opened Kelvin up to the world is his interest in what he loved and his ability to explore. He was in no way set out to make this breakthrough, but from his story, one finds out that Kelvin was just focused on creating some sound using wires or cables. This story and many others tells you that success, though relative, is brought on by persistence and self-belief. If you have an idea that you want to put out there, let nothing stop you. Go ahead and do it over and over and over until you make a breakthrough. Let me tell you a little known secret. Adults are always looking for young people to support. Just thrive to be you, and you will see the amount of support that will come your way, starting from your parents or guardians. It happened to me. My parents were not convinced, but I persisted. Because I am an author who also loves reading, my speech today is aimed at greatly convincing privileged parents to give their children gifts of books before giving them gifts of gadgets, but also to remind them that nothing in a child's life is impossible if their parents believe in them. Take me, for example. The belief that my parents had in me made me a child prodigy and turned me into an international multiple award-winning author of chapter books, a public speaker, a philanthropist, a brand ambassador, an activist, analyst, coach, and mentor. Being all these things sure do represent who I am as Stacey Fru. Yes, me writing and living a dream that I never really had because I started before I knew what a dream truly was. But actually, I have been living my dream because, unlike many people who doubt themselves, I seem to have forgotten about the scripts of life. I know that many of you are sitting here because you are living your dreams. We live our dreams most often without knowing it. So, let me tell you a short story on how my journey of exploring led me to living my dream. My parents have 4 children. However, when the story happened, there were only 3 of us. My mother had took us out shopping one Sunday after church. This would have been in 2010. She was pushing my little sister in the pram while my older brother and I walked along both sides. At a certain point, my mother bent over to attend to my sister. Then she came to the realization that I was nowhere to be found. She panicked and alerted the mall security. I was later found lonely but happy, standing next to where my mother had parked her car. About 10 minutes from the time she alerted mall security, I was reunited with my mother, who had just cried out some blood. I do not think that this story ever bothered me up until September 2016, when, during the launch of my second book, my brother's older friend had gone missing at the casino that hosted the bookshop where my book launch was hosted. It took the search team about 23 minutes to find Joshua, who at the age of 11 was inside a game shop just walking and looking around. The trauma of losing Joshua reminded me of what we were often told that happened to me when I was 3. I then told my parents that I would like to do something or hold a campaign to teach parents and children about how to be safe and secure. My parents agreed, and on my request, we went for a meeting with the MEC of Community Safety in Gauteng. We did not need to do much convincing about my campaign, for the MEC was already convinced. She commissioned a team to work with me to help me communicate my message through a campaign titled Safety and Security Campaign for Children by a Child. I directed the play on the theme, and together with my brother's friends and 3 of my siblings, this play was acted to over 8,000 primary school learners in 4 different Gauteng schools in November 2016. I was just 9 years old. The play was recorded and can be found somewhere on social media. Apart from impacting just the school children's lives, it teaches a lesson to everyone who comes across it on social media. Many parents, teachers, and caregivers from across the globe will learn from it. But that is not all. In 2018, I turned this play into my 5th book titled Where's Tammy? The main theme of the book is child trafficking and child abduction. You can now see how my journey to explore eventually turned me into the safety and security activist that I am today. As founder of the Stacey Fru Foundation that was set up in 2016 when I was 9, I came to realize that being Stacey Fru changes more lives than I had initially set out to. Take, for example, the project titled An African Book a Child campaign. Through this project, my foundation collects and distributes books by African authors or books about Africa to underprivileged children. Although this project was intended for rural areas in South Africa, the foundation's books have reached many countries, such as Australia, Ghana, Cameroon, Egypt, India, and Namibia. I am very proud of its reach, and this project was given to motivate African children about my worries that these children do not celebrate African writers. I hope for my ability to gift books to continue to touch as many lives as possible through the foundation. Another project is titled Know Your Countries. This is a campaign in which I am committed to educate African children on Africanism. I use my online TV channel, CTVSA, to profile various African countries on YouTube. it is important for me to wipe out the African child's ignorance on their own continent. Before the pandemic struck us in 2020, the Stacey Fru Foundation ran another project in which it hosted reading and writing sessions for all. During these sessions, I taught children and adults to read and write through scheduled reading and writing sessions. The feedback from these sessions were great, and some attendees even went on to write their own books that are now pending for publishing. I sure do miss those Saturdays teaching. They always say, leave the best for last, am I right? Well, that is exactly what I did. I would now like to tell you about the project that shows the most tangible and intimate results of my work. My celebration of Africa and its children has given me the honor to be the custodian of the annual African Children of the Year Awards founded in 2018. These awards were inspired when the premier, governor, or head of the Gauteng province in which I live celebrated me in the presence of over 600 guests. This award ceremony fulfills my dream to celebrate African children. It is the biggest long-term project that will stretch my vision for the Stacey Fru Foundation. Yearly, in November, the foundation and its partners recognize African children ages 7 to 13 who are contributing positively to their community, country, and the continent. Over 100 children from 20 African countries have been recognized in the 5 sessions. Some past winners whose great works came forth at these awards include Lene Joste of South Africa, Shana Manjaro of Kenya, DJ Switch of Ghana, and Tanya Muzinda of Zimbabwe. If you listened keenly, you would have picked up that one of the key things that got every person in my above examples, be it Kelvin, Stacy, or even you, from point A to point B, was not their dream. It was their ability to let people help them. When you let someone help you, that means you are letting them construct you. If you have to be constructed, then you have to accept that you are human and that you have weaknesses. Let me use myself as an example again. At the beginning of my journey, little Stacy was very afraid of criticism. It was not long, after a couple of sad rejections, before I accepted that rejection is possible and that for each rejection, I may need to help rebuild myself. I do that by taking positive flashbacks. I always remember my first ever public talk at the age of 8. During this talk, I reminded 1,200 final year college students that when you do something so great, so powerful, you tend to put a burden on others who will take your work and be filled with joy. Their happiness will then make it their responsibility to mentor you and to grow you by giving you emotional support and constant reassurance. A summary of living my dream is that I have grown because of the support that I have received and the support that I have given. Definitely, my growth is not because of my ability to do what I have done. I really love talking to children because I want them to be inspired by my story. But I enjoy talking to adults even more. Do you know why? I am not living my dream by writing my first book at the age of 7. Not by publishing 5 books by the age of 12, traveling the world and speaking to adults and children alike, winning over 40 awards and recognitions, meeting presidents, speaking and talking to you here, giving university and institutional lectures. I am living my dream today by inspiring others to stand up, both when they are supported and when they are rejected. Permit me to add that I am so thankful to all those who try to stop me from living my dream. Because of them, I keep dreaming, or no, I keep living my dream. I am thankful for my parents' support because to them I have been able to explore. I am able to stand here and talk to you today. Lessons that I've gathered from my parents have empowered me to ask you one question. What is your why? As you and I part ways, you'll have to ask yourself if you are living your dream. Ask if your dream is making you happy, passionate, powerful, and purposeful. Whatever your response, never miss a chance. Keep living your dream and know why you dream. I thank you and have a good day.